Let's go back to the phones we have from the Chamber of Commerce to talk reopenings and how they're going. Catherine Castro. Good morning, Catherine.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
I guess first question we would have for you is how's the dine-in going? Are people dining in?
You know, there are some people dining in. I have been speaking with some of our restaurateurs.
Oh,
and
Catherine, can you speak up a little bit or put your mouth
Sure,
right there?
sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Is this better?
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm driving. So I spoke with some of our restaurateurs and cafes, and they said that it's been, a light, but they expected that, right? I mean, there's still folks that are wary. The dine-in is still going strong, and obviously we all appreciate the support of our local community for our restaurants and cafes, and we're expecting this to be a little slow as people start to feel a little bit more comfortable about what the guidelines are and how the restaurants are handling social distancing and sanitation protocols, which is, of course, the big concern in our community.
Have you had a chance to dine in?
Not I, no.
No, not yet.
Yeah, I on Saturday I went around and I just kind of took a peek at how the parking lots were doing and what the lines were looking like, at different times of the day, and it was still looking like long lines at the takeout.
Mm-hmm.
Speed trap at FD, everybody going southbound. Catherine, what about the shopping centers? How have the business been for these shopping centers?
I think that with the opening of the larger stores, it's been much better. As you've seen in some of your local media and yourselves, you've seen the lines at, especially during the weekends, at the bigger anchor stores. So they've been doing pretty well, and I've noticed that most of the things that people are going for are, I don't know if you've noticed in the shopping, folks, but like home improvement stuff. Most of the stuff for the home. It looks like maybe people are doing fixer-upper type things, upgrading their electronics equipment.
Mm-hmm. Have you been involved with the discussions on economic recovery and the governor's panel of advisors?
Not me personally. Our chairwoman, Christine,
okay.
Has been directly involved in those discussions.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to follow up on on the Gita's announcement about the $20 million CARES Act funding that has been set aside for small businesses to help with their recovery, and if you've gotten any updates on how that has been going.
I haven't. I've been meaning to speak with Mel and Ricky, but I have been getting a couple of small business phone calls saying that there's been some little glitches of uploading documents. And I'm pretty sure that there were just some little bit of system glitches. Obviously, when they first opened, right, there was probably a whole bunch of people that were trying to take advantage of this opportunity. But that's all I know of so far, other than from what I've read in the media.
Do you know if anybody's gotten an actual check from the program yet, or?
That I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I know of some of the other folks that have applied for other things that are very thankful for that opportunity and are utilizing it so that they can bring back their employees and get them going back to work.
We're talking about the PPP and the EIDL.
The PPP, EIDL,
mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And out of the total membership over at the Chamber of Commerce, can you give a rough estimate on how many have taken advantage of the PPP or the EIDL? Do you guys keep track of that?
No, unfortunately, we don't, Sabrina. Yeah, so I don't have that information for you.
Okay. And so I guess what other programs are you guys working on then? I know that when you guys you joined with the Women's Chamber of Commerce and you held a seminar with Ricky Hernandez on P Core 2. Do you plan on holding any other similar online seminars?
Yes, those are all in the works. We're actually working on that's part of our webinar series, and then we're working on mini events that are particular to our committee. So we've got a small business committee, a Guam Young Professionals group, a Chamber of Business Women's Network, and so those are the plans for those committees, and working on virtual events for them are in the works, and we'll be rolling out information to the membership for that very soon. We're also have relaunched our Nala Bonita Guam beautification program. As we're getting ready to open up our island for visitors, we wanted to make sure that we've cleaned our household.
Now, Gus Guam.
So we are, this is a program that we've had for a very, very long time, and it just kind of went into hiatus for a little bit. And after some discussion, I guess, with the economic group that Christine is on and some of our chamber members are on, they discussed about how, what we need to do as a community to spruce up and take care of our home, not only for our visitors, but for ourselves. So our Nala Bonita Guam program has been resurrected, and basically what that is to recognize businesses, individuals, organizations who have made a significant impact on beautification. So whether it's your building, whether it's a project or a roadside, something along those lines, we have a nomination form that's available on our website, or people can contact the Guam Chamber of Commerce, and we'd be happy to email you a nomination form. And so that's one of the things that we're working on. We're trying to help with helping to keep our island beautiful and clean. So those are the things, obviously, the Visitors Bureau and there's strategists, that are talking, and they're looking at, how can we bring businesses, how can we bring our visitors back to Guam? And the huge thing right now is feeling safe and sanitary and clean. And so that's how we have to take a look at what are the strategies that we can do as a community to put that information out there, not only for our local residents but for the world.
Mm-hmm. And so how soon are you guys hoping to relaunch the program?
Well, we put out a notification last Friday, and so this is the first time I'm speaking about it in the media. So we've pushing out a press release later today in reference to the beautification program, and so we're looking forward to people being excited and looking at just coming together as a community and keeping our island beautiful and clean.
Mm-hmm. So it's more of the program is more of a proposal to encourage businesses to go out there and host cleanups and things like that, and then get recognition from the Chamber of Commerce, or are you speaking about one day that everybody's going to participate in the cleanup?
So this is an ongoing program. So this is to recognize anybody that. So for example, if there's a couple that I remember, former speaker Ampinko, God rest his soul, him and his wife would have their morning walks, and they would bring their trash bags and pick up trash along their morning routes, and they would do that for years. And so someone nominated them because they helped keep their part of their world in that area clean of trash, debris, things like that. So they were nominated with an La Bonita Guam award. It's just your everyday person who is doing their part in keeping our island clean and keeping our island beautiful. Whether it's a building, or whether it's somebody that's taken an eyesore and has made it into, something that has really good curb appeal, or an organization that is supporting cleanup projects, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they haven't had any recognition for it. We just want to encourage people to do their part in beautification efforts, and have them be recognized for doing that.
We just reopened dine-in service. The Chamber of Commerce has been involved with, businesses that want to reopen, but they have to turn in plans, as I understand. What businesses have reached out to the Chamber of Commerce that want to reopen but haven't been able to?
So we're obviously very, very concerned about these businesses, right? I mean, every time restrictions are talked about being lifted, we're really pleading and doing our best to make the case for opening of all of our businesses. But the businesses that right now that have not been allowed to open are the marine sports businesses, our playground, our amusement businesses, and those places that have any type of amusement, like Underwater World or Tagata or Sky Zone, those types of businesses where I guess the concern would be because it's people would congregate and be together, but because of the lifting of the restrictions recently for social gatherings, we're hopeful that the restrictions would be lifted for these businesses as well very soon.
You're hearing that they will be.
We're hopeful, yeah, because as long as again with keeping the positive cases as low as possible for the length of time that we've been doing that, we're feeling very positive that more and more businesses will be open in a shorter amount of time. So yeah. So for a while, the training groups, the dance studios, they were itching to open, and for their credit, for everybody's credit, they were all great about submitting their guidelines, submitting their sanitation protocols. I think the business community has come forth and has done such a terrific job in just coming together and understanding the situation, and nobody really wants to be that company where there was a COVID outbreak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we know. I personally feel confident in our local businesses that they are doing the best that they can to follow all of the guidelines and the expectations for sanitation protocol.
So no Chuck E. Cheese, huh?
Oh, man, that's so sad. I don't know what to say.
I mean, what about those business? I mean, that's a business where you just go in, everyone's touching everything, right? So, what other businesses that fall in that category? And I'm thinking like the play ports or the lollipops or whatever. Are these like kind of the last of the businesses that we would like? Are they in the category with daycares and schools?
I'm thinking that that's where they're coming from, right? Because children, what can you know, they don't understand social distancing.
Right.
They're all about being social, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and I understand where, you know, public health and the governor is coming from in reference to that. But I also feel that that businesses also are responsible, and if they have put, and there's been so much work in developing guidelines and sanitation protocols to be safe, not only for themselves but for customers. So I feel like there should be a level of trust, and you know, we've all been through this, and we're all understanding that this is very, very important. But we do have an economic crisis, and we need to do our best to get our people employed and feeling comfortable in that they are earning a living.
I know there was one question that was brought up during the press conference. I think it was last week. One of the reporters was asking about game rooms because they had heard that some game rooms were open, and then the governor, I believe she said that, you know, it wasn't really on the list, and that they really shouldn't be open at this point. Have you heard anything about whether game rooms have been allowed to open?
No, I haven't. That's, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't even think about game rooms. Yeah. I've been mostly working with, you know, the folks that have been waiting to open, right? The gyms, the CrossFits, the dance studios.
What about the jiu-jitsu academies?
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about that? I got a kid that's like, Mom, I want to go to jiu-jitsu.
I got about 10 pounds of Chuck E. Cheese tickets I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with.
Well, I think, you know, I know that a lot of those folks, right, if you do the one-on-one appointments, that's what's been really good about our business community, is that they've been really, really creative. And if they can, and if they have the economic means to do it, they're doing it. It's been difficult because if you don't have money to operate, then you can't open your doors, right? And so, and if there is a way that businesses can work virtually, if they can do one-on-one appointments while still following social distancing and sanitation protocols, they're allowed to do that.
You know, I wanted to ask about the Women's Chamber of Commerce. There were these public hearings last week, or Monday, I believe. No, last week, on the double pay issue. And the Women's Chamber of Commerce came out vehemently opposed to any sort of double pay to these frontline workers. And so is the Chamber of Commerce also taking a similar position? Or did they sign on to the letter with the Women's Chamber of Commerce?
The Guam Chamber of Commerce has not taken an official position on these matters because they're specifically dealing with government of Guam employees. So we've not taken a position on those particular issues officially.
Mm-hmm. And what about, okay, so no position on that, but what about working with the Department of Labor and the PUA online application form? Is that something that the Chamber and your members are doing to work with DOL? Because we understand that the online application form is cumbersome.
Well, you know, we have been working with DOL in pushing out the information to the business community, and I have personally helped a few people register their individual employees to get them online, and I know that they're just kind of going through it myself with these individuals. They could be cumbersome because if you're not tech savvy, it could be a little bit of an issue. If you do not have a computer, it could be a little bit of an issue. Although it is mobile friendly, I've looked at it and I've seen how you can utilize your mobile device. But if you don't have your documents in your mobile device, or if your mobile device cannot take a picture to upload, then you're a little bit in a bind. Also, another thing that I've noticed, that if you're a permanent resident, if you're not a U.S. citizen, and if you're a permanent resident, you will need to have your green card documentation or information available, because that needs to be logged into this program or this system.
Well, so we actually have Dave on the line, De La Sola, Catherine. So we'll go in with him on this process and any update he might have. Well, thank you for your time, Catherine. Always good to check in with you. We try and do it every week to find out where we're at with the chamber.
Thank you so much. Have a good one, guys.
You too. Take care.
Wash your hands. Watch the road.
All right. Bye now.
Okay, bye. Thank you. 7:56. Yeah, let's just go over to Dave right